Alright, we see that the main market indices are on the verge of materializing a bearish reversal, which could take us back to lower price levels, to our next support levels. Now you may wonder, do we still have a chance of avoiding such bearish scenario over here? And the answer is yes. However, the time to react has to be right now. So let's study the market's main turning points and see how prices are reacting at the moment. My name is Nathan. Welcome to the Finance Hydra channel, where you will find unbiased analysis every single day. No guesswork or assumptions. We only work with technical evidence and facts to build our strategies. So welcome or welcome back to another video to the Finance Hydra channel. Now, as we can see here, the SPY is correcting today, alright? We are trying to lose yesterday's low. I'm so sorry. Yesterday was Sunday. Friday's low over here. However, we are still above a critical support level made by two support levels. First, the 21-day EMA, the exponential moving average on the daily chart over here, this dynamic blue line, and of course, the $565. The previous top level, now support level. Only by losing this double support area, SPY could technically trigger a sharper correction by reversing the midterm trend, the uptrend on the daily chart over here, making a sharper correction on the weekly chart. On the weekly chart, our next technical target is the 21-week EMA over here, which has been acting as a quite reliable support level for the SPY since October last year, roughly 1 year now. Therefore, we gotta watch out for this double support level, $565 and the 21-day EMA, alright? Because only by losing this key point, we're gonna actually reverse. We're gonna actually materialize a sharper correction ahead. Now, but Nathan, if we see a bullish reaction like tomorrow or in the next couple of days above the support level, could this suggest that SPY is going to resume its uptrend? Absolutely. This is going to be a technical bottom signal. This would be, of course, a technical bottom signal above a double support level. A very good bullish signal suggesting more bullish continuation. Therefore, this key point over here, this double support level is going to be critical in determining SPY's next movement, all right? Let's watch very closely how it is going to behave around this double support level. The QQQ shares a similar chart structure. However, the 21-day EMA is slightly above the $476, the previous top level, which right now is a support level for us. But either way, we also see a double support level over here. What if we lose this double support level? Then the QQQ could technically trigger a sharper correction to the 21-week EMA. However, as far as I know, we could even correct to the support line of this ascending channel. And that's okay. It is not going to necessarily ruin the long-term bullish bias because we are still very bullish. However, only by losing this purple trend line over here, we are gonna actually turn bearish, long-term speaking, all right? So far, so good. Apparently, the situation is still under control. We are still above our support levels. This is why I'm telling you guys, there is still hope for a recovery. However, we gotta see a meaningful bullish reaction as soon as possible above our double support levels. And it is very interesting to tell that right now we see a possible, all right, very bearish chart structure, a possible head and shoulders chart pattern. If we see a lower high, lower low, losing this double support level, then SPY could technically trigger this bearish pivot point over here, suggesting a technical bearish reversal chart structure on the daily chart, a technical pullback on the weekly chart as well. This is one of the most reliable bearish chart structures, and on the QQQ, we see the exact very same chart structure over here, all right? The neckline is 476, the neckline on the SPY is 565. And of course, remember guys that I teach you guys how to trade this pattern on our technical analysis ebook. everything you need to know is right here. You can download this ebook for free on our website, all right? It is right there. And as I teach you guys in this ebook, the break of the neckline is the trigger for the trade. And again, this ebook is free and available on our Telegram channel for the members of the 5% Project, which is a service where I share advanced high-performance trading strategies with you. You are not charged to test our service, all right? And you can download this ebook for free because I know the educational part of our work I make sure is free, all right? With the videos here on our YouTube channel and with this ebook as well. The only part that isn't free is for those who want to be part of the 5% Project for real and boost their performance by living the daily life of the market with us. This year, guys, hundreds of trades have been triggered for us and our performance has been jaw-dropping, all right? So you are invited to learn with us. The link to our website is in the video's description, all right? Now, back to our analysis over here. How this is gonna affect our stocks? Well, NVIDIA hit our target, all right? 130. We nailed another target over here. We are doing higher highs, higher lows, trading consistently above the 21-day EMA. Therefore, the trend is very bullish. We just hit a technical target, so let's stay alert over here because any top signal below the 130 would be totally acceptable. It is not going to be a surprise. Any pullback to the 21-day EMA could be just another buying opportunity. However, if NVIDIA loses the previous support level, meaning if we lose the 115 over here, we're gonna frustrate the idea, the pattern of higher highs, higher lows, the idea that it is still in a bull trend, and in this scenario, we could trigger a sharper correction, possibly on the weekly chart as well. And remember, we just retested the resistance line of this symmetrical triangle on the weekly chart. So along with the 130 resistance line over here, this is going to be a very good price level for NVIDIA to materialize a top signal. I'm not saying it is going to reverse, I'm saying that a top signal over here could bring a correction, all right? And as far as I know, corrections, while we are maintaining the bullish bias, are just buying opportunities because the risk-reward ratio is optimized. However, let's see, all right? So far, there is no technical top signal on NVIDIA. Unlike Tesla, NVIDIA is performing very well. Tesla is looking insanely bearish right now. We are losing Friday's low. We are trying to lose the 21-day EMA, and we are on the verge of losing this purple support line over here, which is a trend line connecting the previous bottom levels on Tesla since August this year. All right, so by losing this support line, by losing all of these support levels, the 21-day EMA, this purple trend line, the $245, which is a very interesting key point as well, by losing these support levels, all right, Tesla is going to materialize a reversal. What's more, it is gonna technically trigger a bearish pivot point, a lower high, lower low, suggesting a top signal on the weekly chart. Because on the weekly chart, we, once again, for the third time, we failed in breaking the 265, our major, the most dangerous resistance level over here. By materializing a top signal below such important resistance level, well, the 21-week EMA is going to be a technical target for us. Of course, it is going to report earnings in 2 weeks, all right? So maybe we're going to see the volatility spiking over here. However, from a technical point of view, Tesla is not that bullish anymore. We are dangerously trading around critical support levels. We gotta see a meaningful bullish reaction as soon as possible in this area in order to avoid a sharper correction on the weekly chart. AMD is on the verge of closing this open gap over here, 174.53. This open gap over here is a technical target. However, by materializing a top signal over here below this resistance level, AMD could trigger a sharper correction on the daily chart, possibly to the 162, our previous top level, now support area, which is approaching which is approaching the 21-day EMA. I'm so sorry, it's the inverse, all right? The 21-day EMA is approaching the 162. Therefore, we see a double support level in this area, made by two important support lines. However, we are still bullish, all right? Only by losing this double support level, AMD would technically turn bearish and trigger a sharper correction on the weekly chart, maybe to the 21-week EMA or even to lower price levels. Meanwhile, we see Palantir collapsing over here. It is just collapsing, all right? And this reaction is technically very good, all right? Because it is losing momentum. We are still below our technical target, which is the all-time high at $45. However, don't you agree that Palantir is in a bull trend, is in an uptrend? We are making higher highs, higher lows. We are now trying to make a top signal. Again, as I told you guys, when we see a pullback in an uptrend, usually, more often than not, it is just another buying opportunity. Therefore, if we see a top signal materialized on Palantir over here, and if we see a pullback to our support levels, this is going to be a very good signal. And then if we see a bullish reaction, this could be another buy signal on Palantir, especially for those who missed it buying Palantir over here or couldn't buy over here near the support level, all right? So this is going to be technically a good signal, in my humble opinion, of course. Of course, it is not going to be as good as your like. And remember to subscribe this channel for daily unbiased analysis. You have been watching this video for almost 12 minutes right now, therefore, I believe you liked the content, all right? Therefore, remember, subscribe for more analysis like this, for more professional analysis like this. Of course, now back to our analysis over here. When we take a look at the weekly chart, as far as I know, we could make a top signal over here and correct all the way down to the 21-week EMA over here, which is very close, by the way, to this open gap on the daily chart. This is not going to ruin the long-term bullish bias. However, it is going to reverse the daily chart over here. Therefore, we gotta pay attention on how Palantir is going to behave above our next support levels, namely the $38.19 and the 21-day EMA over here. By losing these two support levels, we're gonna materialize a sharper correction on the weekly chart. So let's pay attention on the key points mentioned in this video on all of our stocks. I'm gonna keep you guys updated every single day. Remember, join the 5% project for high accuracy, high performance trading strategies. Take a look at our ebook. Thank you very much for your audience, my dear friends. Stay safe. See you guys tomorrow.